Hello and welcome to Developod, the podcast from IATEFL TDSIG. That's the Teacher Development Special Interest Group. Like usual, I'm Helen, and on today's episode, I'm going to be interviewing Emma Walker. Thanks for joining us today, Emma.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, Emma, how would you describe your ELT self to our listeners?
Yeah, I feel like there are almost two sides to myself. There's English teacher Emma, let's say, and then there's social media teacher Emma. So there are two very different sides,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still me. So I help English learners
Mm-hmm.
with their English pronunciation. I
Mm-hmm.
focus mostly on British English pronunciation, but I've also done coaching for very specific accents, not just
Mm-hmm.
the typical standard RP, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
but also for Yorkshire. Like some students have moved to the north of England, they want to integrate more, they want to understand people. So I also help students with those sorts of things too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the social media side, I have a YouTube channel, Pronunciation with Emma.
Mm-hmm.
It's nearly at 1 million. It's
Wow. Congrats.
yes,
Are you far
thank
off?
you. Maybe like another, that's a good question, like another 60, 70,000, I
All
think.
right.
And then I'm there. So yeah.
Wow.
And that focuses entirely on English pronunciation
Mm-hmm.
as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I know you have a pronunciation focus. You also do teaching with video games and stream on Twitch. Or do you
Oh, I
still? You
used
used to. Yeah.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny. Someone mentioned this the other day. They were like,
Oh,
I
okay.
really miss that you don't do that anymore. But yeah, during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I know many people don't like it when I use that word, but we're going back there.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I, of course, was locked inside, as many other people were,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted a new project. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you've heard of the term shiny object syndrome. Well,
Yep.
I got that. I was like, oh yeah, I just want to do something new,
Mm-hmm.
something fun, something that's not work, but is kind of still related to my business and still helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically taught English through video games.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stream on Twitch like once or twice a week
Mm-hmm.
and explain vocabulary in the story. I would get students in the chat to be like, should I go this way or should I do this action? Like I would play games that had options where people in the
Mm-hmm.
chat could be
Mm-hmm.
participants, let's say, in the
Oh,
story.
okay. Like a choose your own adventure.
Exactly. So games like oh my goodness, I'm trying to think like Life is Strange,
Okay.
where
Mm-hmm.
you have different options at different moments that can affect how
Mm-hmm.
the game goes. Like it can completely change the story,
Mm-hmm.
and people really liked that.
Like role-playing games where it's really
Yeah,
focused
kind
on
of.
what choice the gamer makes as to where the story
Exactly.
goes. Oh, okay,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, and
great.
people really enjoyed them. Yep.
And you were already a gamer in your personal life, so this was a way of you kind of
Exactly.
combining the personal and the professional.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally, I don't know if people can see the video version of this, but I am literally wearing a t-shirt
Hmm.
that has Animal Crossing characters on it. So
Amazing. All
that's like
right.
perfect actually just to show my personality. But
Yeah.
yeah, I play video games a lot. I'm gonna say I play video games a lot. Not as much as I would like to, but in my
Hmm.
free time, yeah, I
Yeah.
play them.
Well, I mean, it's a method for those learning English to immerse themselves in using English in a practical way. And if
Yeah,
they're already
definitely.
playing games in their own language, why not in English?
Switch it to English.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
am. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. What are you gonna say?
No, no, go on.
No, I was gonna say that even because I speak Spanish,
Hmm.
so even I sometimes switch games to Spanish.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, but this feels weird, because maybe I've been playing a game for so long in English. Like
Yeah.
a really good example is The Sims.
Yeah.
I switched it to English, and I was like, to Spanish, I mean, sorry. And I was like, oh my God, there are so many verbs in here. Because of course you click and you've got different actions and things like that,
Mhm.
different topics,
Mhm.
all everyday related things. And I learned so much
Mhm.
vocabulary just from doing that. But also it was quite funny to see the translations
Yeah.
of, how they translated some of the words. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was really interesting. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Oh, just that I'm also in the t-shirt brigade for today. It is
Oh,
Wednesday, the day we're recording this, and I am wearing my Wednesday Adams t-shirt.
oh,
So Wednesday on Wednesday. Yeah.
oh, that's
Uh,
true. Yeah, I didn't even notice. I literally don't know what day it is.
it's Blur's Day, Emma. That's what day
It,
it is. Yeah.
feels
So
like it.
during the pandemic, you started doing video games with Emma, and then did you
Yeah.
stop doing that when the pandemic ended? Or
Yeah, so I started
Mhm.
the video game side of my, let's call it business. It wasn't
Mhm.
really a business, it was just for fun.
Mhm.
Um, it started during the pandemic and I called it procrastination with Emma because I
Instead of
mean, it was
pronunciation with Emma.
exactly. And I have to give full credit to a friend of mine, another English teacher that mentioned it. He was like, if you don't call it procrastination with Emma, then you are really missing out here. And I thought that name is absolutely perfect because that is exactly what I'm doing. It's just
Mhm.
procrastinating. Like I'm not really learning and studying, but it
Mhm.
feels, it feels like it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I started during the pandemic. I did it for maybe like a year or two. And then I just started focusing more on like back to pronunciation with Emma again
Mhm.
and started focusing on my course, on my
Mhm.
students,
Yeah.
YouTube, life, going outside, touching grass,
Yes.
that sort of thing that I couldn't do during the pandemic.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So, I mean, I know you're really busy with your business with pronunciation with Emma. If it's all right, I know that's where you're at now, but could I ask you to tell us a little more about the whole story of you? Where did you start in ELT and how did you end up where you are now?
Oh my goodness. Well, I will take you all the way back to when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
For context, I'm turning 33 this year.
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
people are thinking, oh, well, this girl's only like 25. No, I'm in my 30s. Just the Korean skincare is, doing its work. But yeah, I started when I was 16
Hmm.
as a language, not as a language assistant. What was I? I can't remember the official title, but basically, during lunch breaks, I
Hmm.
would help people, like younger students, like year 7 students. So for
Hmm.
people who aren't sure what that is, it's students who are, I think they're like 12, 11, 12 years old at that
Yeah.
age, helping them with their reading. So I
Hmm.
was a reading assistant. That's the word.
There
Yeah.
you are.
So it'll come to me at some point.
Hmm.
I was a reading assistant. And I would go like during my lunch breaks
Hmm.
and help them read. Some of the learners, they were dyslexic. So I would kind of help them with their reading, get them into stories. Some people just came along because they liked reading and they just wanted someone to talk to about, tell
Hmm.
their the story about it and stuff like that.
Hmm.
They just wanted to talk about the books they were reading.
Hmm.
So yeah, I started when I was 16 doing that. And then I went off to uni. I studied English language and linguistics.
Hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed the language acquisition and
Hmm.
development
Hmm.
modules that I did,
Hmm.
whether it was learning language as a baby, so like first language acquisition, or whether it was second language acquisition. I found it really interesting, just the whole topic. Um, and yeah, during my second year of my degree, I'm laughing because this is how my teaching career was born, let's
Hmm.
say. For the second year of my degree, I got the opportunity to go to Spain
Hmm.
as part of an Erasmus scholarship, let's say. Like
Hmm.
at that time, this was like 15 years ago, they would throw money at people to like go study abroad.
Hmm. Like
So
an
I went to
exchange
Spain.
program from one university to
Exactly.
another. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I went to a small university in a town called Tarragona, which
Hmm.
is in Spain, in Catalonia. And as part of those modules, I still remember I had like a list of all the modules I had to choose.
Mm.
And one of them was called something like the Smile program. And I was
Oh.
like, what's the Smile program? And yeah, like smiling, yeah. But it was like all in capitals. So obviously it
Oh.
stood for something. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it was. It was like secondary
Mm-hmm.
English, like whatever. Do you know what I mean? It stood for
Yeah.
something related to English. And I said, oh, well, what's this? What's the Smile program? And the coordinator was like, oh, that's where you can go into a Catalan secondary school and you're basically a language assistant.
Hmm.
I said, oh, great. So yeah.
I did a Google
Oh,
soft
yeah.
mobility integrated learning in English.
Is that what it's called?
EU
Okay,
program
that's
for
what it
education,
means.
training, youth, and sports. Okay,
Mm,
there we are.
Smile program? Yeah. It could be. I honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, actually, I've managed to find it.
Yeah.
Smile is a joint coordination between the Rovira y Virgili University and the Department of Education in Tarragona. Yeah. Okay,
Oh, okay.
it's this one here.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I don't know if
All
people
right.
want to learn more. This is the one. Oh, and this is the official website as well.
Yeah.
Smile
Oh.
is a joint coordination program.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sure.
basically, you just go into a secondary school
Hmm.
working with teenagers as and you're basically a language assistant. You just help the teacher. And I remember saying to the coordinator, will I have to do exams? And they were like, no. I was like, great, put me down for the highest number of credits. I don't want to do exams and I don't want to write papers. Like, put me down for the highest number. So I did that and it was terrifying. I still
Hmm.
remembered the first lesson. I was standing there. I was like 19, 20 years old at the time
Hmm.
and just thinking like, Emma, what on earth have you got yourself into? Like, I'd never been abroad at that
Hmm.
time. I couldn't really speak Spanish. I'd never been in front of a classroom
Hmm.
before. Like, I had no training, no preparation. I
Yep.
was terrified. I was really thrown in at the deep end. But I loved it. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed it. I just enjoyed the whole experience of, I don't know, explaining things and just seeing these
Hmm.
little light bulb moments. And I just found it fun, like
Yeah.
playing games and literally getting paid to play games and
Yeah.
correct people. It was very much like that. I wasn't getting paid at the time. I was kind of getting paid in credits, like university
Hmm.
credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I really loved it. And then when I came back after my study abroad year, I finished my final year of my linguistics degree.
Hmm.
And during that time, I was a volunteer on a program that helped Turkish refugees.
Hmm.
So that was probably the first time I actually had to like plan lessons. I was working with a team of like other students as
Hmm.
well, and yeah, we just like planned lessons together,
Hmm.
and they were very basic lessons because
Yeah.
these poor ladies, they really couldn't speak much English, bless them. But it was one of my first experiences of like actually being a teacher, let's say. I,
Hmm.
I didn't have the support of another teacher. I wasn't an assistant this time. It was like, wow, eh, I say something and students do it, if that makes sense. And it,
Hmm.
it was quite scary.
A different role for you.
Yeah. I wasn't just the assistant this time. I was the boss. I was the teacher. And I was like, oh, what do I do with this power? It's so scary. But no,
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Again, just seeing these little light bulb moments, it just gave me such a kick.
Aha.
Like I really liked it.
Hmm.
And then yeah, I did my CELTA course,
Hmm.
and then I tried to find my own students, tried to run my own business. That failed. This was like way before online learning and online
Hmm.
teaching and stuff.
Yeah.
People just didn't want lessons with me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to move to another city, going to move to
Hmm.
Bristol, and
Yep.
I'm going to do a master's degree. So I did a
Oh.
master's degree in TESOL, graduated with a distinction, which
Hmm.
people don't know, that's the highest grade you can get. And I remember, so this is where the pronunciation with Emma part comes in.
Hmm.
I remember I was sitting in my, what's the word? The dissertation tutor.
Mhm.
Like we were
Mhm.
talking about my final dissertation project.
Mhm.
And I was sitting with my tutor talking to her, and she said, "Where are you going to do your PhD?" And I was like, "I'm not going to do a PhD."
Yeah.
And she just looked at me like, "Oh yeah, what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to start a YouTube channel." And she literally just went, "Oh, okay." And then turned around and like did something on a computer.
Oh dear.
You could just tell that she was like, "What a waste."
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, hopefully she can see what I've achieved. Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah, I've achieved enough to prove myself to her like 10 years later. But yeah, that's how pronunciation with Emma was born. I was 50-50 between doing a PhD and starting a YouTube channel. And the only reason why I didn't do a PhD was because I could not be bothered to move to another town.
Mm.
Couldn't be bothered to move
There's
to
the
do a
cost as
PhD.
well.
It's so expensive and there's
Yeah.
no funding
Mm.
like
Yeah.
for a lot of them. So I just never
Mhm.
like yeah, maybe thought about it for a few weeks and then I was like, oh no,
It's not for everyone,
I don't
right?
want to do that.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
speaking of your sort of training qualifications in term as part of your developmental journey, can I ask where you did your CELTA and where you did your master's and how were those experiences for you?
Yep. So I did my linguistics degree at York St. John University. I absolutely loved it there. Loved it
Hmm.
so much. Highly recommend it. I think now as well, if people want to do a degree in English language and linguistics, you can also get a CELTA qualification as part of your degree. So
Integrated
that saves
program.
you exactly. So that
Right.
saves you like a grand and a half now because CELTA's not
Mhm.
cheap, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really, really focus on language teaching at York
Hmm.
St. John, way
Hmm.
more than they did when I was there. I think I was just at the start of when they were thinking of doing that. Um, so yeah, York St. John did that for 3 years.
Hmm.
I studied. Where did I do my CELTA? That was also in York as
Hmm.
well, just like a little training center in the city
Hmm.
center.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
That's
name
okay.
because
Don't
it was
worry.
like 10, 12 years ago.
Hmm.
My master's degree I did at Bristol University,
Hmm.
and I don't recommend that. But that's
Okay.
a podcast episode for another day.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I
All
leave
right.
people to wonder what happened there.
Yeah. Now, was it while you were doing your master's degree that you became interested in your specialty in focusing on pronunciation?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I was doing my linguistics degree,
Hmm.
some of my favorite modules
Hmm.
were phonetics and phonology. Like
Ah.
the fact that I could just sit there going ah, e, oo, e, ah, just make noises
Hmm.
and be like, oh yes, this is learning. This is a
Yeah.
degree. And I
Hmm.
just had to like write symbols. There's like such a science to it. And
Hmm.
not many people know that. When they
Hmm.
start teaching pronunciation, they're like, oh yeah, it's just the sounds. Which it is, but that's just one layer to it. There's so much science to it.
Hmm.
There's so much kind of is biology the right word? I'll stick with the word science,
The
but there's
physicality of like the shape of like your mouth and how open or closed it is, your lips, your tongue, your teeth, your throat, your airflow.
exactly. It
Yeah.
can get so technical. Like, for
Hmm.
example, yeah, you mentioned airflow. Like some teachers, they kind of don't even think about these sorts of things. Like
Hmm.
what level of airflow? Like it can get very technical very quickly, can pronunciation. Um, I think anyone that makes it look easy,
Hmm.
they do a good job because actually it can get complicated very quickly.
Hmm.
But yeah, I absolutely love my modules in phonetics and phonology at uni. And fun fact, not many people know this, but I studied British English,
Hmm.
phonetics and phonology, and American phonetics and phonology.
Hmm.
And I remember during my exams, that was while I was studying in Spain. It was American phonetics and phonology.
Hmm.
um during my exams, which were like every 2 to 3 weeks. It was insane in Spain, they do so many
Wow.
exams.
Yeah.
I had to transcribe like full paragraphs. I remember in one of the exams it was like a full text completely in American English transcription. So I'm kind of thinking to myself
Ooh.
like, hey, my name is Emma's gonna be the same, but stuff like my car, I was like having to think about the different vowel sounds. And there are things
Mm,
like in American English, most accents, some words are actually pronounced the same, but
mm,
in British English, they're pronounced differently. One example is like cot and court. In
mm.
American English, it's like cot and cot. It's the
Yeah.
same. So
Yeah.
it's like learning little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that got me quite interested. Um, but then the part that made me really want to start teaching it was when I started doing private lessons during my master's degree when I was in
Mm-hmm.
Bristol.
Yeah.
I started taking on private students while
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my master's. And I just remember this one student, I tell this story a lot, so many people might know this, but I remember I was with this one student from Spain and they arrived, they sat down, and I said something like, "Oh, did you come by car?" And they were like, "Car? Car? What? What are you talking about?" Looking at me like I was
Yeah.
saying like this alien word. They had a good level of English, so they knew what the word car was.
Yeah.
And they just weren't getting it. I was like, a car, like beep beep car. And I wrote car on the board, CAR, and they were like, car. And I just thought, like, clearly there's a real disconnect here. Like, they weren't
Mm-hmm.
the only student that had happened to, but for me, it was like the kind of click in my brain where I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, there's a problem here,
Mm.
right? And it's not necessarily a pronunciation issue. Like, I call myself pronunciation with Emma, but I focus a lot on listening comprehension as well, because
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation and listening, they're sisters. They go together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, it really helps you with the other. You learn about pronunciation features, it helps you understand listening features, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why I wanted to start focusing on pronunciation, because I
Mm-hmm.
just realized that no one was focusing on it at the time. I would send my students off to like look for things on YouTube, like, "Oh, you can find a video on the schwa on YouTube." No, Emma, can't find anything on the schwa on YouTube. Again, this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you look for the schwas like 200 videos.
Yeah.
But this was 10 years ago. And like, "Oh no, Emma, I can't find anything on the schwa, or I can't find anything on connected speech or something
Mm.
like that." And I thought, oh, there's something wrong here. There's something really wrong. Maybe they're not looking properly, but there really wasn't anything.
A gap to be filled.
So pronunciation with Emma was born.
Hmm. So when I mean, you said you started working in ELT when you were 16, you're now 33. So over that time that you've been in ELT, would you say that that's the major change that we're focusing more on pronunciation right now? When I say major change, I mean a major change that's involved or affected you. Or is
Hmm.
there anything else that you think has really changed over the time of your professional development?
That's a really good question. I definitely feel like more pronunciation channels are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, at IATEFL, I've started to notice more pronunciation and listening
Mm-hmm.
workshops and
Yeah.
talks coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see them, just like, I don't know, a little bit, I get like a little, not a jump in my heart, but I get a little like, oh, like it's
Yeah.
just so nice, like this nice kind of feeling in my chest, like, oh, finally pronunciation's getting its place. Because I still remember, again, this is back to like one of my first ever proper teaching jobs, big girl teaching jobs when I
Mm-hmm.
finished my CELTA, my degree.
Yeah.
I remember I was planning a lesson on connected speech,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting in the staff room, and there was a teacher in there who'd been teaching for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy was maybe like late 40s or
Mm-hmm.
something, early 50s. He'd been teaching for a long time.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, what are you planning there? You're doing some pronunciation." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do a lesson on it this afternoon." He's like, "A full lesson?" I said, "Yeah, full lesson." "Oh, you can never do a full lesson on pronunciation." And that still sticks in my head
Yeah.
from time to time. There's me teaching full lessons on pronunciation, but clearly it was so neglected. Even in textbooks, it was
Yeah.
very, very grammar and reading heavy.
One exercise about pronunciation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's always about like one particular accent. I mean, I am me. I have one accent, but I can switch to a Yorkshire accent if I need to. I won't do that now.
That's okay.
But like, I will mention other accents where I can,
Mm-hmm.
because of course I could go on forever talking about them. But I'll maybe say something like, oh, if you say it this way, it just sounds a bit more Scottish. Or if you say it this way, it sounds a bit more South African. Or this way sounds a bit more American. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll give
Yeah.
some kind of
Mm-hmm.
extra little bits of information.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting how things have changed
Mm-hmm.
now. And now more people are talking about it. And it warms my heart. Like every
Mm-hmm.
time I see a new pronunciation channel come up, because I was like the only one at the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
10 years ago when I started. And now to see it, it's like, oh wow, there are more people teaching
Yeah.
pronunciation. I mean, from a business perspective, it's not good because it's like, oh, more competition, but I
Yeah.
don't care about that. I kind of think it's great because it means that students now have more options.
Mm-hmm.
If they
And
don't like my
attitudes have
accent,
changed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Gone are the days of, only speaking like the queen.
Yeah.
Like now people are starting to teach their accents,
Mm-hmm.
like me. Yeah,
And
I don't
thinking,
speak with an LP.
yeah, and we don't think that communication breakdowns are just related to lack of vocabulary or lack of grammar.
Yes.
We now understand that listening and pronunciation can play a huge factor into whether, someone understands in the moment or not. Language learner or
Yeah.
not, right? Anyone can have issues with listening and
Exactly.
understanding due to, yeah, pronunciation. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about the breadth of your career, which is really great. Here in your niche as pronunciation with Emma, um, just a bit of an info dump. This year is 40 years of TDSIG, of teacher, of us as a special interest group in teacher development. We've existed for 40 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So,
Happy
I mean,
birthday.
thank you. So, and our theme for this year is looking back and looking forward, which is part of the point of all these podcasts. We're trying to get like a real understanding of what's gone on over time and what changes in ELT. So, we've looked back. Now, let's look forward, Emma. Tell us, do you think you're
Indeed.
going to be in this niche for a long time in the future? I mean, where do you think your ELT
Uh,
journey is going if you look
oh,
forward?
that's such a good question. I have no idea. Really, I have absolutely no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because there are some days, and I think every teacher's like this, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I don't want to be teaching when I'm like 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine getting up and, planning lessons when I'm like 80 years old. But part of me, there's still parts of me that really loves teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I just really enjoy it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
it's something I was born to do.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I don't end up teaching pronunciation
Mm-hmm.
forever, maybe, AI will take over my job, as everyone keeps saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm sure I'll be doing something where I'm doing some form of coaching or some form of teaching or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, with its pronunciation, I have no idea,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine myself not teaching. It feels weird.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, absolutely. So is your YouTube channel what you're most proud of when it comes to your professional development journey? Or is there anything else that you've done over these years that you're particularly proud of?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. What am I proud of?
Hmm.
I would say I'm proud of myself. I know that sounds really egotistic, but proud of myself for being able to pull all this off and being able to do
Hmm.
this. Yeah. Like, running a business that takes a
Hmm.
lot of work, a lot of
Hmm.
dedication, a lot of hours, a lot of crying, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of
Hmm.
unpaid work. Like, people don't see this side. They just
Hmm.
see, oh my God, this girl's got nearly a million subscribers. She's killing it. She's got this course, da 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 da. But they don't realize that behind the scenes, there have been so many like
Hmm.
very late nights and early mornings. There have been multiple breakdowns. Many times I've wanted to give up and have given up. Like, many
Hmm.
people don't know this. I disappeared for like 8 months. No one
I
noticed because,
remember
it's online.
you
But
came
like,
back and rebranded, changed your colors, changed your
I
style. Yeah,
did.
I
I
remember
did. I was
it.
like, I need a rebirth. I
Yeah.
need like something new. But
Hmm.
yeah, basically something bad happened with my business, and I just, yeah,
Hmm.
a topic for another podcast episode.
Yeah.
Leave people on edge, in suspense, thinking about what
Yeah.
it could be. But yeah, it just kind of um
Mhm.
Like I felt like I came back stronger, more
Yeah.
resilient. So
Yeah.
sounds egotistic, but
No, that's
yeah,
fine.
I'm probably the
Be proud of your
most,
accomplishments.
yeah,
Mhm.
probably the most proud of myself. Because when I first started, you cannot imagine, Helen,
Mhm.
you cannot imagine the amount of people who told me no one is going to follow a channel that only teaches pronunciation. You're never going to be able, listen to this, you're never going to be able to run a pronunciation business with your accent, Emma, because I don't have an RP accent,
Oh.
you know. Yeah. Like these sorts of things. Like sometimes these things come into my mind and I'm just like,
Mm.
ha, like
And look at
who's
us
laughing
now.
now?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is that the
Yeah.
main takeaway? The main thing that you want our listeners to take away, that resilience?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Believe in yourself. Oh God, it sounds so cheesy, but really just have some
Hmm.
faith in yourself. Like
Hmm.
you really, if you just put your mind to it
Hmm.
and you are able to dedicate some time,
Hmm.
like you can do it.
Hmm.
You really can. Whatever the thing is you want to do,
Hmm.
you can do it. Out of everything, it's
There's,
motivation can come and go, but
yeah.
determination, consistency,
Hmm.
they're the things that will keep you going
They keep us teachers going, I think, through some very challenging times, that's for sure.
for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate you joining us.
Thank
Um,
you.
if you want to know more about Emma, listeners, Emma, how can people get in touch with you? Should they LinkedIn, your website? What's the best way?
Yep, they can head to my website, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, whatever. It's pronunciation with Emma. You
Hmm.
can find me there.
Grand.
Or if you want to find me on LinkedIn and send me a message and just say, hey, I heard you on the pod with Helen, that's also fine.
Great. All right. Thank you, Emma. Now, stay in touch with
Thank you.
TDSIG by following us on social media. Um, Subscribe to the show. Thank you for listening to Emma and I, and see you next time.
Thank you.